got another video camera to look at today. Presumably this is a successor model to the one we looked at in the previous video. This is the JVC GX-88E, another PAL model. It's presumably the successor to the GX-44E, because the number's higher, I don't know why else, but it's quite a lot bigger, perhaps similar weight. I don't know, let's have a look at it. It's more or less exactly the same, other than it's got a power zoom with a switch there, so that you don't have to do that. I'm not really sure how that's a benefit, because it's not very difficult to just move that while you're holding it, but you don't have to now. You just push the buttons and it does it for you. Wonderful. Still manual focus, and same kind of filters, shutter, iris control, auto or manual, and the white balance adjust and set it to its sort of midpoint standard position, and more zoom controls here, but no other additional things other than there's a remote, an earphone, in addition to a microphone connector. Nothing on top. The microphone is down there, bottom of the handle, which is weird, so you can get your nice hand rustly noises into it. Sounds great. And similar CRT viewfinder, although this one has an additional lens in front of it. Interesting, so it should make the picture look nice and big in there. And weird feature, it's the VCR start stop there, which is momentary but with a lock. So the other one was like push, like on off type thing. This one, yeah, momentary but with lock. And the handle, I showed that when I introduced this camera before we took apart those VCRs that this went with, and I thought that was weird, but it's probably so you can pack it away smaller. It's not removable like on the other one. Yeah, the camera cable plugs in the bottom there. This one isn't gone all sticky and horrible like the previous, the 44. Let's all remove. It's got this lens hood, which is dented because when you put it down it gets squashed. The lens is pretty dirty. We could try, so the point of this thing is you plug it into your portable VCR into the camera connector using a cable, and then you record on your VCR, because there's no recording device in this. This is just a video camera. Or you plug it into an AC adapter like that, camera connector, and then you can get access to the video and audio. We'll do that to test it. Maybe. I was like just realizing that the cable we used on the previous camera, which wasn't too bad to touch, does not fit on this one, because it's got like a sleeve ring, threaded ring thing on it, but this needs one that can poke deep down in there, so that means it's this one, I think. The one that is so mushy that, oh, it's actually the camera end that all that green stuff is coming out of. We might flag that and not plug this in, or we'll try to take apart this handle thing and see if we can force the other cable into it. Although, is the pin out the same? I don't know. I don't want to reach into that bag because it's full of really disgusting oily stuff I don't want to get everywhere. So let's rip into this and see what goodies are inside. That's mainly what we came to do, isn't it? We want to see what's in here. I don't know if I've opened this before. I've had it for a long time. I don't know if it ever worked before either. No idea. It would just been something that arrived at some point. Probably with some of the JVC VCR, portable VCR. So let's see what exciting things are inside. Does this open the same way? Oh yeah, look at that. Ah, and there's the same, yeah, there's P1, P2. So it's the same type of switch, although this time they haven't chopped off one of the mounting bracket things. It's got both of them. Top quality stuff there. Okay, So there's screws in various places. Seems like this handle thing doesn't have any screws. Maybe, does that black part have to peel off somehow? Not sure about that. Oh, look, something's happening. That has to come off as well. Guess that makes sense. Presumably these knobs just pull off. Yeah. And then more screws. Oh, that thing there has to peel off. Oh, look at that. I wonder if it's the same but with a different layout. Same? Same as what? Same as the GX44? No, the boards are bigger. There's more stuff in this one. Still don't know how that would come apart. It's like no screws, but it's made of two halves of a thing. Yeah, is there some metal bracket for that? A little pin. And then a whole bunch of stuff there that gets turned around. The die-cast type chassis thing, frame. This time we can see the filters. See, that's got a sort of orangey colour to it. Oh, and that other one's a frosted filter. Okay, so that one's for doing the white balance. You put that in so it like blurs out the picture and averages the light. Let's see. And then you can see there's a little motor there for doing the zoom, powered zoom. Little motor, switches, weird switches. Okay, let's open these boards up. Again, that board is bowed. A nice touch, there's an index on it. So it says there 1 to 11, A to E. So you can work out, presumably from the service manual, where the different parts of the circuits or components are going to be relocated. Oh, more basic board in this. It has a selectively top plated part there where that metal can is, but otherwise it's a single-sided board. I guess this is just a less dense version of the other one. It's got that thing. Probably has all the same parts. We'll see, the other one, does it have that row of ICs on it? It could be just less dense because it's not having tracks on both sides of the board. Yeah, see, that's way less dense. Interesting that there's a lot more holes there. Holes that don't go to anything. Yeah, let's just drill a whole bunch of extra holes in it. Are they under surface mount parts? Maybe they're breathing holes to stop gases pushing surface mount parts and make up something stupid. Are the caps leaking? There's green stuff at the base where the legs of the capacitors go into the board. But has that come out of the capacitors or not? Don't know about that. Wow, it's come out of that one at least. There's green stuff coming out of the cap. Okay, so this is likely ruined, as many things of this era and age. Look at the insulation on that connector. That's so crusty. It's like a sleeve thing on both sides, but it's like majorly oversized. Interesting. That control stays there, as that one comes with it. Variable resistor. Is it? Or maybe it's just a switch. A center returning rotary switch thing. Yeah, the target output of the tube and the preamp is in that box on the top. It looked like it might have just been a enclosed switch mode that's been pushed in there out of the way. But no, I think that is the target place. The pickup, like a thermal sensor maybe, that was taped against the sides of that. There was something that looked like a thermal sensor in the other one, but probably pushed against it. The other one, the GX44E. Look at the previous video to find out about that one. I think there's only one LED in the top of this viewfinder. Maybe there. Now the viewfinder is on the board up here, and the buttons for the power zoom are also on that board. There's one shielded cable here going up to it. Presumably that's the video signal for the viewfinder. And then there's that with a connector. and then a sort of bunch of mush there, and that, I guess it does more on that goes for that switch. I guess it's that connection there. 4 wires, is it? 5 wires plus that, but it will need the signals from the view, the zoom. Interesting. What are these? I think those might go into the lens. All that to do with that switch. Oh yeah, weren't we going to try turn it on once we get that connector open? Don't know how to open the connector. Ah yes, look at that. All that stuff goes to that switch. So that center one, I think, pushes something in there. Yes, that might be ruined now. So that manually adjusts the iris by turning the little back of the little servo thing that opens up the iris. You can see a bit of stuff in there, but it's really dark, so see a glint of something opening up there. Okay, that's good, I think. That is weird. That's really weird. It's also haphazard because there's like a little metal bracket thing there just to hold this extra board in. It's just held on by nothing else and holds the transformers, like flyback transformers and things for the viewfinder. Just sort of chilling out there with one screw. Dangerous. Well, it's probably already wrecked because of the capacitor leakage. Oh, look at that. So that was just a trick. Yeah, I thought the switches for these zoom controls were on the viewfinder board. They're not. They got their own wires. Got a lot of wires. Maybe that... No. I was going to say, does that do like the power one way and the other way to the motor? Maybe it does. Is that why it's got so many connections? Could do. That would have to be in correlation with that one. In consultation? Correlation? In something. I'm going to look at this viewfinder board. Now, something's a little bit dodgy. No, it's not dodgy. Okay, so I just undone a screw before that I didn't need to. Because I was looking at... I also don't know where that came from. Was that just under there? That the like grounding for the tube. Oh, was it held on by that? I don't know. There's a ground thing on this side. We'll have a look in a moment when they get this fully off. That little switch on the top. Now, video input signal there. Oh, it even says video in by it. That's nice. And then there's this connector here. Interesting inline style connector. And then there's that weird thing, the orange wire. That's bizarre. Oh, there's another one of those interesting transistor things with many legs there. Like we saw in something else that was JVC. Maybe that's one of their favorite things. It says on it M51204. It's got just got 5 legs. I think it's a dual transistor package where one of the legs is common, a common leg. Yeah, so I saw, you see the conductive surface of the tube, which needs to be grounded. I thought the screw that was holding that metal thing on was also holding it down to the chassis, but it's not. That's just into the plastic, because I'd already undone that one, which was holding that shielding or insulating sheet. But how does that ground the tube, the outside of the tube? Because that needs to be referenced back to the ground or common of the driver. It's done by that. There's a little spring bit touching like a ground area of the board. Just touching it. Sort of touching it. Not doing a very good job, but I suppose it's good enough. So there's some sub boards in here that have been pushed in through a slot, then soldered. One there, and then there's this backboard, which has just got 4 wires attaching it, and it just sort of hangs there by those wires and the high voltage wire on the other side. That's the thing I said was dodgy, because it had one screw there holding it to the frame using that little angle bracket. Nothing else, just flapping around. I guess it's for a portable device. Things don't have to be that rigidly secured, do they? It's not like it's going to be knocked about. Just look for some capacitor leakage. some kind of stuff's been going on there. I don't know if it's capacitor leakage, but well, I guess it's from a capacitor. It just hasn't corroded the capacitor legs, it's leaked further out. Unless water dripped into this thing or something else. But yeah, it's a bit crusty around those trim pots and those parts near the trim pots. Again, these are service mount on the solder side of the board in all cases to make things nice and high density. Seems to have a model number there, CA6052A. Interesting thing, little CRT assembly with lens thing on it. Don't think it has any kind of adjustability, it's just that. It is how it is, and that's a piece of stuff. Oh, that came from over here. That was in there, but the glue is crustified away and it's not in there anymore. Well, that's pretty good. Output from the tube into there, various video processing, and then eventually the signals go off down into the handle where the connector is. How do you get into that? I'm wondering if it's something you need the right tool for, not these little tiny pliers to like somehow grab that and rotate it hard enough to unscrew it all. I guess it has to be done before all this is put in, doesn't it? So we got to take all these screws off, then we can look at that, but still don't have the right tool. So to bodge it, make a mess of everything. Okay. Oh, the start-stop switch is like fully wired, double pole, double throw. Pretty interesting that it would need that much stuff going on. Now this has quite a lot of wires coming off of it. Oh, look, a lot of them go into connectors that then are taped. But the tape is old. But the tape still holds. It's the tape that's got threads in it to stop it tearing. That's horrible. It's a sticky mess is remaining. Interesting connectors where the pins are exposed when it's unplugged. So well, that's not unusual, but they're unshrouded. So tape is still holding pretty well on these, even though it's become a bit mushy. Does that let any of this come off? A little bit of it. This is all tricky. The start-stop switch has to come off, I think, because it's blocking the way for the connectors. It'll be interesting to see how the construction of this differs once we start getting into the Panasonic video cameras. Have a look in some of their ones. Now there's a bunch more still, including one wire that goes, oh no, it's two wires that get plugged into there, and then something that goes over to here somewhere. So I guess we've got to cut off a cable tie. Alright, look at that. There's nothing in here. Why are we even thinking there would be something in here? Maybe, wondering, do you think that is the switch for the zoom? These are the like power, audio, and there'll be a microphone. So that might be like record, start, stop signal and power, video and audio to the connectors. That goes to the microphone. It's got an extra wire though. And then that's the zoom controls. Let's see. Well, we'll only be able to see if we can work out how to unscrew this. But even then, what happens once you've done that? You've still got to get the thing apart. Maybe it will just come apart with some gentle persuasion. So it's quite bizarre that it doesn't have a screw, like screw holes and things. The old stuff is generally serviceable. Okay, so yeah, you have to just peel that thing off. Then it's got screws, so it's all easy. The big screws. Big as in they use the number 2 JIS, everything else was number 1 or 0. Okay, now it'll just come apart, won't it? Probably not, because you still... oh no. Just these things are also like taped on pad things to make it smooth to rotate, and they're holding it together. There we go, look at that. Wow, look at that. A lump of that stuff is turned into a gross sticky mess that the wires go through it, so we've got to peel it apart. There. Let's see if it was what I thought it was. I think the answer is no. Some of it, right? Yeah, that was the microphone connection. But no on the others, because those two that I suspected would be power and the switch signal are the zoom ones. It looks like, yeah, it's got the reverser on there. So it's just two things in parallel. The power goes in and the motor signal comes out on the other connector. Those two, and when you push it one way, it joins it in one direction. When you push the switch the other way, it joins it in the other direction. The simplest way of controlling a motor both directions. And that will be the same as what's happening on this, I'd say, although for some reason it has 5 wires. Maybe because it disables this one when you're pushing that one, so that you can't push the opposite things and short out the power supply. So it probably is like a normally closed thing which gets opened when you push either of those. Probably. That'll be the easiest way to do it. So if you're pushing this and you push this, this one's going to take over. If you're pushing this one will do nothing. Makes sense. That is plastic, is it? Aluminum? Yeah, it's just anodized black really nicely. And it's a really lightweight, high quality microphone. All shock absorbed. What if it has an amplifier in it? Because the red wire goes to that yellow colored one, and then the black and white is shielded. Or it's got the capacitor or whatever they have in there to make them work. The electret type microphone. Oh, and this little spring-loaded thingy. Little latch thing. Great, it's full of exciting things. And some surprising things. Perhaps for good measure we'll take the lens off as well. Might as well, we've done a number on everything else in here. Although, to get to it, they've glued up the screws, so that's great. The problem is that one, oh no, you can't get to it, it's just, you just gotta reach under those little switch thingies. And does that just lift off? Not really, because a whole bunch of wires and stuff are gonna have to come with it. So I need to find where all those all go, where all those go. Interesting, the wires for the zoom motor are thin coming out of the motor, and they get changed to some slightly thicker ones. I wonder if that's to get the right sized wire gauge into that connector. Maybe? And then we need to work out, oh, that has to be uncable tied. Oh, yeah, so it's like this thing here is a central grounding point or something, because one of these from the lens goes up to that, but also that random wire from the viewfinder goes into this thing. There's a bit. Anyway, that's just a thing, but then in order to get this, we're going to have to cut the wires. Oh well. Just have to deal with the consequences of cutting the wires, because that's the only way we're going to get this off. Although there's another wire here that's soldered on there, ground wire, goes to a little lug thing there. But then there's, like, deep inside, there's another ground, need to be unscrewed. Oh, look at that. The zoom motor is this big long thing, because it's got, like, the gearbox. You hear the good noise it makes? That's quite exciting. Zoom motor. What a nice motor. Just touch that for the rest of the video. And then the iris opening servo thing. Servo motor, I'm not sure what they are. It's something that involves multiple coils and the ability to do, it's like the opposite of a resolver, where you put similar signals in and you get a position out, rather than determining a position. Well, that's the lens. There isn't really much else to it other than the functioning of a zoom lens, which is to bring, so the focus just moves this outer element in and out. The zoom moves this inner element back as it zooms in, becomes more telephoto, and then a rear element moves towards then away from it, I think, to maintain the focal length over the zoom range, like a proper zoom lens, not the type of zoom lens you find on your digital camera. A TV zoom, meaning it maintains the focal distance or focal length over the zoom range. And when we look down there, you see there's an IR filter with a red shining off of it, and then the front of the pickup tube, which is reflecting lights in different colors there, is pretty exciting. I'll probably open this box now and have a look in there. Ah, so that must be why they put this extra shielding there, because the interference, the switching noise created by the viewfinder running, because it's power supply stuff right there, additionally shielding that from the very sensitive signals here from the pickup off the tube. Now it's the bottom of it. Okay, I guess we won't get to see that. I wonder how they've mounted that. Not sure. Don't know if we can just get this out. There's all sorts of other stuff to undo for that. The connector off the back of the tube, but then there's this thing inside, some really thick insulation. Similar to the other one, there is a green, like TO220 power transistor thing just hanging out up on the roof there. If we can unscrew that and look at it. There's a mica sheet insulator. So it uses that spring clip to hold it down. But see there, mica sheet, which is probably going to get sheared. And you look at that, a B857, so it'll probably be a 2S B857. Now, is it green because it's PNP? Probably. That seemed to be the deal back in the day. Mica sheet insulator before all that modern polymer stuff. Does this frame come apart anymore? Or is that it? We're supposed to work with that. Everything's sort of, all the boards are suspended in these like plastic bracket things that are all clipped in. I guess that's all custom for this, because it's all a certain size and length. Then that should pull back, and that then releases the whole board assembly, although due to so many wires going in every direction, it's not going to be that easy to take this out until all this stuff is like disconnected. More cable ties. Oh, this stuff that goes, I was trying to undo these wires, but they all go all the way through over to the other side. There they plug in. Pull all that stuff through. Now for the tube part, the socket is off the back, but then there's also going to be deflection coils, that, and then the other bits for the pickup, which is that. More cable ties. Oh, look at that, the tube comes out with it. Great. Interesting die-cast frame with positions for these connectors, which is quite neat. And yeah, there's the start-stop switch, although I think that can't go in or out, can it? The wires has to come all the way through, but then the wires are all tied into these other things, so it's probably built in there. Now, what is in that? Some kind of big thing is in there. Something in there. What is this? A capacitor? Wow, look at that. An unmarked component, which is also, oh, the high voltage lead is in the same pin, so that must be breakover device or a capacitor. Is that just, oh, there's a resistor there. Brown, black, green, so is that a 1 meg? Guess that's a capacitor, a high voltage capacitor. So it's, yeah, smoothing the output, I guess. Maybe, yeah, 1 meg current limiting resistor, presumably. Pretty good. And then a smoothing capacitor. Ah, yes, the tape is for keeping the adjustment on these, which we now lost. It would be like the alignment or purity or something. And then Presumably by undoing this clamp we can take the tube out. Would that be it? Not sure what's holding the tube. Oh, look, that tape's holding... Is that a magnet? Maybe it's a really weak magnet? I'm wondering what that brown goo is. I think it was just the glue that was supposedly holding that possibly magnet or some kind of ferrite device. Ferrite. A little contact which picks up the signal off the front of the tube came out. No, it didn't come out, it stayed in. Anyway, there's the wire. So, yeah, now we can open the other side of this box and look at the little amplifier that's in there. Some good quality, probably FETs, and a toroid. There's some good quality stuff in there. This very small signal amplifier, a bunch of surface mount transistors on the back side. Pretty good. Almost every board has got surface mount parts on it. Ah, that means we left behind the IR filter. Oh, it's in a rubbery thing. Pretty rare to get an IR filter that isn't completely crustified. So many of them have like turned into this kind of mush. I don't know, it's like it's flaking apart and completely frosted over. But yeah, that one's still going strong, so that's nice. I don't know what's holding the tube in. Oh look, that's what's holding the tube in. I was going to say, usually there's a little clip thing that you can unscrew and it comes out. Well, here it is. It's just covered up by that other business. A little clamp thing. Give it a tweak, and out it pops. Matsushita S4130. Great! I think we made good work of that camera. We got to find out all about the things inside it. So, hope you enjoyed that, and I think that means, since we've now done the two cameras that looked like they were of the era of the JVC portable VCRs and tuner thing that we looked at earlier, I think that means we'll move on to the next JVC set of portable VCRs and things, and then the associated cameras of that, which I have waiting in the pile of stuff to get through. So, stay tuned for that, and yes, see you then.